right now, a lot of people are wondering why the Google searches haven't risen yet. And that's most likely because Bitcoin hasn't broken all-time highs, right? The population has already seen Bitcoin at 10,000. This is nothing new. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Kevin Svenson here. So I want to go over the price of Bitcoin. I want to go over a few scenarios and what I think is most likely to occur at this point in time for the market. So as you see right now, we have had a clear break below the parabolic trajectory. A lot of people are still trying to hang on to the idea that we are still within a parabolic trend, and that could be true for the larger scale. But in the shorter term time frame here, we have had a clear break below the parabolic trajectory. We are actually finding horizontal lows right now. And not only that, we are also finding lower lows right now and lower highs right now. So overall, the price action is beginning to resemble a falling wedge pattern, which could result in some upside movement in the near term. So if you guys have been watching this channel, things have played out pretty much as we've been expecting. We got the blow off top we were looking for. We got the bounce off of just above $9,500 that we were looking for. Found the dead cat bounce we were looking for. And now we're pulling back to the $9,100 level, which is what we talked about in the last video. So now I want to discuss, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of analysts right now are looking at this move and comparing it to previous runs, which is something that I've also been doing. A lot of analysts such as Sunny Decree have been looking at this particular move right here, this higher low, lower high trajectory, comparing it to what we saw here, what we're seeing here right now. So the way that these formations played out was that you found higher lows, lower highs, and eventually you kind of just snapped below the higher low trajectory and, quickly found a low, found some really nice volume off that low here in the 2016-2017 bull market, and then continue to rally up, right? And if you look at all of these moves, it was all very similar, right? You had these higher lows, the lower high trajectory, you snap down below the trajectory, and you find some really nice volume levels. And like in the last video I was talking about, how, when you're looking for a parabolic low, you want to see volume levels that exceed previous levels. And that's what you got on this run. If you look at the next run, you had a higher low trajectory and then also lower highs. Volume levels exceeded previous levels, and you got a really nice bounce off that low, and also you hit the golden retrace on every single one of these moves. And then of course you had the blow off top of the parabolic move and a pullback. Now right now in this particular instance, we're not getting necessarily the same type of formation, right? We're not necessarily getting that like higher low, the stair step, the lower highs, and the breakdown. What I see here is just a blow off top and a pullback below the parabolic trajectory. So on each of these parabolic runs on the 3-day candle, there's one 3-day period for the pullback and another 3-day period for the bounce up, right? One 3-day period for the pullback, another 3-day period for the bounce up. And this one was a little bit more, the timing was a little different because we were becoming much more parabolic. On this one, it's really not like that. It's really different. The behavior of the market is much different right now. So if you just take a look at this chart overall, I mean, we had a parabolic run up to the blow off top, and we started pulling back, getting horizontal lows and a breakdown. Right here, we had a parabolic run up to what could be a blow off top, potentially horizontal lows and a breakdown. So really what it comes down for to me right now, the most important thing for me to see at the moment is the volume levels. I need to see good volume levels. I need to see if we bounce off of this level, I need to see volume levels that exceed previous levels, guys. That's what I need to see right now, is volume levels that exceed previous levels. So off the next low, what I'm really hoping for right now, for the bulls, what I'm really hoping for is that we do pull back further, we do pull back to the golden retrace and get a nice bounce off that level. So you can have, maybe a 3-day period where we pull back, another 3-day period where we bounce up. And then of course you want to see volume levels exceeding previous levels. And that is a very, very good indication that you could actually be forming a parabolic run when you have these volume levels increasing off of each low, right? Off of each low. This is what you want to see, guys. Off of each low, volume levels increasing. And that's how you're starting and you're getting into a longer term parabolic move. So for the bulls right now, I think the best case scenario is that you actually pull back further, get a lot more support at this level of just above the golden retrace. Try to get more volume, try to get volume levels that exceed previous levels, and get a nice push off of 7,500 or so. And for the bearish case, what the bears are going to want to see right now is the bears are going to want to see this. What the bears are going to want to see is a pullback to the $7,500 level, 8,000 level, and start getting horizontal lows. And if you get horizontal lows, then likely you're looking for another breakdown similar to this environment right here. So similar to these areas right here, where you actually create a larger scale parabolic structure, that's what you're going to want to see, right? You're going to want to see a bounce off the golden retrace and a creation of a larger scale parabolic move. And likely you'd be looking for another pullback, eventually creating a larger scale parabolic move. Something similar to this is what you're going to want to see here, right? And on each one of these bounces, you need volume levels that exceed previous levels on each one of these bounces, and that is the only way I think Bitcoin is really going to be able to get back to all-time highs and break all-time highs, and I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. It's probably going to take at least another year. So what the bulls would really need to be looking for right now is something like this taking place here, where you have like sort of a longer-term upward sloping trend line pushing up to all-time highs, and once you break all-time highs, that's when the true, the most aggressive part of the parabolic run begins. So, in my opinion, if we were ever going to break all-time highs again, it would take a while, right? It would take a while to get there. Probably midway through 2020 is the most likely time frame the most realistic time frame I can think of right now would be mid 2020 that we would actually break all-time highs, and I don't think it would be anytime soon. And of course, once Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, then of course you're going to see huge interest again. Google search is rising again, new players coming into the market again. The population at large will be thinking that they're missing out. So the truth of the matter is that most people involved in Bitcoin are pretty much in it for the money. It is useful for some things, but overall, most people in this market right now are looking to make money. And that is why, once Bitcoin broke all-time highs in 2017, you saw a major parabolic movement to the upside. And right now, a lot of people are wondering why the Google searchers haven't risen yet. And that's most likely because Bitcoin hasn't broken all-time highs, right? The population has already seen Bitcoin at 10,000. This is nothing new. In fact, the population is looking at it at 20,000 and seeing it now at 10,000 and thinking that it's going down, right? That's, the average person thinks that Bitcoin is like gone already. Like when I talk to average people sometimes, people that aren't involved in crypto, and they think that Bitcoin is gone. They actually don't really even know that it's still around. So if Bitcoin breaks all-time highs again, then the population will have their eyes on it again. And until then, it could be a slow grind, similar to this environment right here, to actually reach all-time highs again. So, I would expect that this next run up to all-time highs would most likely take until about midway through 2020 before you'd even get to that point of, potentially breaking 20,000, right? And of course, as I've been talking about, there is a strong potential right now that the way that this is playing out right here is similar to the way that this is playing out right here. And we could be seeing a pullback to about $7,500, finding horizontal lows in a breakdown, right? So for me right now, this next pullback, if we do get a pullback here, this next pullback is going to be extremely telling. If we get volume levels exceeding previous levels, then I would say, okay, this is likely, if it's healthy volume, I would say this is likely the next parabolic, the beginning of the next parabolic run, similar to what we saw here, moving up towards all-time highs and breaking out. If not, if volume levels are lackluster and we're continuing to move to the downside, then I would say likely we're entering another bear market, sort of on a smaller scale, and potentially Bitcoin could be entering a sort of a trader's market for the time being, right? So that's all I have to say today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.